see if we can get into this. I want to listen to your song and then we'll get to mine if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna start the video. Could you hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Okay.
Overthinking, I'm done wasting my time. Hey! I hear you okay, I know you mean well, but it's hell and it's no fun. You're twisting my kite.
What's your what are your influences? I always want to hear before I say anything.
Wow. You know what? I mean, I have a ton of influences that kind of get meshed together, but
Yeah.
I feel underneath this there is a bit of The Cure in it.
Yeah, for sure.
The kind of upbeat side of The Cure, indie rock from like the 90s and 2000s, that.
I like that. I'm almost hearing like They Might Be Giants a little bit too.
Oh, hell yeah.
I love
I'm a
that
huge
band.
fan. Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
because I like to add a lot of not a lot, but enough like electronic stuff in what I do to kind of give it that flavor. I call rec electro power pop
Okay.
for that.
Yeah, totally.
So the Giants make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna keep going. I like those harmonies.
Just really straight up say you're gonna save a life today as I watch you twist my kite and it spins away. Okay, now you say my life is a disaster and you can figure it out faster. Sitting, talking, drinking, overthinking. Well, should I thank you for interrupting when I don't wanna go to another of your hot clubs? Don't wanna go to another of your hot clubs. Don't wanna go to a local show and sit in the back all sad and like thinking about whether this is supposed to be my life. Don't wanna go, no, you're wasting my time.
Nice. Whoa, cool.
Thank you.
That was really good.
Thanks.
I really like the what was that little sound in there? It's like a little sample thingy.
Oh yeah,
That was cool.
I've got so many plugins, and that one does like the where it syncs it to the tempo that you're doing, and whatever you hit, it'll just loop it for you. So
Oh, cool.
yeah.
What is it called? Do you know?
God, no. My library is messy and huge, and
Right.
I kind of have some sense of what's in there, but basically if I kind of know where the song's gonna go, I just pick a folder and I just start sampling sounds. Like that's the one, there you go. And then I honestly forget what it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a keyboard patch or what is it? Like a
Yeah, that's a keyboard patch.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. How do you do the drums for this? Because that's a thing that I'm a drummer too, so I hear that like, oh, cool. I like that it's like a mix of like old school 90s, but like it's also not doesn't sound like a vintage, like a throwback project, which is cool.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been, I listen to a lot of everything and I try to keep pretty, up to date. And there's so much out now that's like not period specific that you can almost pull from anything anywhere at any time and
Right.
you make it work. And
Yeah.
so since my influence is I mean, you can go as far back as like the Beatles, but it really kind
Sure.
of starts with like 80s, 90s, 2000s
Mm-hmm.
where my sweet spot is, and then it all just gets mixed together.
Mm-hmm.
And what I used to do was, I mean, when the band started, I had a drummer and we did that, and I did a whole album with
Yeah.
that drum. And then people kind of went their separate ways. And I worked with a producer that had a lot of like live drum samples. So for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of years, I used that.
Yeah.
But I also do electronic music, strictly electronic music.
Oh,
So
cool.
I blend the two
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah.
And I have an electronic actual full drum kit.
Oh, okay.
So what I did for this one was I had drum samples for certain spots,
Yeah.
and most of it is just me playing the electronic drum kit.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, there was
Yeah.
like a little cool breakdown where like the drums shifted. That was really cool.
Oh, cool. Thanks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely like hearing all kinds of music, but it's nice to hear when people are not just trying to recreate a thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I totally know what you mean. And
I
I don't look, recreate something and make it great, and that's awesome. And if it's
Yeah,
good song, it's a good song. But if
sure.
you're doing something that's like an amalgam of like pull from here and here, and then stuff that nobody's ever heard, like that's my
Hmm.
favorite.
Yeah, I mean like and I, obviously there's like no music is so vast. It's like I'll listen to Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings and be like, this is amazing. But it's also they went the full mile. They are razor blade editing, they're getting musicians that are like of the era and they're, performing that music authentically and as authentically as possible.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
that's cool. But then like I've heard, Mark Ronson like do like when he started doing the Amy Winehouse stuff, it was like kind of a cool mixture of like this is definitely 60s, but like he was doing something different with it a little bit.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite producers,
Oh
and
God.
I kind of wish I would hear more from him actually. But
Yeah.
that mix of like, right, like throwback, but make it like electronic in some way, and then
Hmm.
add new rock element to it. Like he's a
Yeah.
master. So,
Yeah. A
yeah,
lot of I feel like, when um when that Back to Black record came out, specifically just getting that like fat bottom end, which you couldn't really get in the old school days. I feel like that's a lot of it. And the drum sounds just to me sounded more like hip hop, but like
yeah,
still throwback soul. So it was like really cool. Now it's like almost a tired genre, but it's like which is basically what I'm trying to do. So,
yeah. Well,
you know,
you're right. It's and I mean, I
you take
think
advantage of it.
that's still around because why not?
Yeah.
And tired or not, that's kind of one of my favorite things is when you're mixing elements of either electronic and or hip hop
Yeah.
in with rock stuff.
Hmm.
And the way it's being done now, like you said, with the fat bottom, but mixing like I try to mix like electronic drums with real drums, or sometimes I go strictly one kind of drum, but then things on top mix those other elements in too.
Yeah.
There's so many ways to do it that it's almost, if you're keeping creative, it's almost impossible for it to get completely played out.
Right. My cat wants to be a part of this always.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you so are when you're playing the drums on this record, this particular thing, you're playing drums on a kit. So
Yeah,
you're able to get kind of the feel of the drum set. Like the way you play it is going to be different than like a sequencer thing.
that's what it is. And even though I've done, records where the sampled drums are, it's is somebody actually playing them, and that's great. But there's
Sure.
only like, you might have maybe 12 to 15, samples, and they're variations and whatever. But then
Right.
I'll cut them up to where I can get them to, oh, I need an extra snare there, and it works. But it's
Yeah.
still so much better when you can get somebody playing it live, and you
Yeah.
have that little quirks and things that you're not repeating.
Yeah. Yeah, I have one of the MPD things. I probably showed it to you in the Zoom, but
Oh
um
yeah,
I love that. And but as a drummer, it's just nice to have a little tactile thing.
there's some. This is the first drum machine I ever got,
Oh, that's cool.
an Elite HR-16. It was the same thing.
Wow.
Play the pads. It's an old one, but
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I've gone as far as to sample my drum kit, which is like sitting over right over here, but
Oh, cool.
and then play it on the pads, which is funny.
Excellent. Yeah, well,
Hey,
you're to control, right? Yeah.
right?
I mean, I
Um,
end up playing like, a few bars of whatever, and it might work, it might not, but then I play like, 15 different patterns for a song, and I'll just cut it up to where, oh, this belongs in the bridge, this belongs in the pre-chorus or
that's
whatever.
cool.
It's still live, it's still live.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I heard a little bit of like Fountains of Wayne maybe in there too.
Oh, hell, man, you have a good ear.
Good.
I
Okay,
mean,
good.
like top five for me. I love that band. Yeah.
Nice. And what's the guy that he passed away? What was his name? Adam
Adam Schlesinger. Yeah.
Schlesinger. Yeah, and he did like
Yeah.
prolific work, man. I mean,
Oh,
he
incredible.
wrote That Thing You Do, I believe.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
Oh my God, one of my favorite movies ever.
Ah, incredible. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that he wrote that and then Stacy's mom. Like, I mean, like,
Right? He was everywhere.
that's
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Um,
It's amazing.
so let's see. I probably should stop and restart because it says I'm running out of time.